Hey, it's Kat here, and today I'm going to show you how to make your finger knitting edges really nice and neat. This is a step up from my last video where I show you how to do it the simplest way, but for those of you hardcore finger knitters out there who want the best results, stay here with me and I'll show you how to make a really nice, neat, clean edge. Right, I will link all these materials below. We've got some lovely thick yarn and we're going to have to make a slip knot first. So working yarn over the tail working yarn, and now we want to get the working yarn through this loop from the back. So I'm going to use my pinchy fingers and then pull that through like that. And then we can pull on that to make sure we have the stitch we want. Now to make sure this is not twisted, we're going to get the working yarn, put it through to the front, and it should lay with that bit looking like that. If it's twisted, it will look like this. So you want it looking like that, and then you can easily take your pinchies, go through and pull that through to the front. And then you can kind of almost do it where you're grabbing the working yarn and pushing it through to the front, like that. If you want the simpler way, then I have a video here for you. We'll do 10. Okay. So they're all laid nicely. And now to make this top edge really nice and neat, all we're going to do is flip that whole thing over, and you can see on here we have bumps at the back, and in these bumps we're going to pass the working yarn through. So we've got these little bumps here all the way along the middle. So we're going to take the working yarn and we're going to get our pinchy fingers, but we're going to go put them into the bump part, and then we're going to grab the working yarn and pull it through the bump. You might need to practice this a couple of times, but you should have something that kind of looks like this. So you've got your end loop and you've got this loop that's gone through the bump. And now can you see that all these little bumps along here all need a loop through them? So we're going to use our working yarn, go through each of them. I'm doing exactly the same thing all the way along. I will link this Wool Genie below as well. This is what I have my yarn on. So we've gone all the way along. All those loops are just a piece of working yarn that's gone underneath these bumps. All right, and this is the last bump. Right there. Now, when we've done that first row of loops, we're going to just flip the whole thing back over. Just like that. Now, to make a neat edge down the sides, we're going to leave out these end two loops. So don't worry about this one yet. We're going to leave out this one. What we would be doing is pinching this to go through the back to the front of this loop, but we're going to leave him out, okay? So we have our working yarn, we have the next loop, and all we want to do is pull this through this loop to the front. So I'm going to take my fingers and pull through like that. And another good tip is to not pull this down too much, because then you'll get loads of gaps. Okay, so you want to just pull it up like that. And you're doing the same thing all the way along. So you get the working yarn, pull it through and up. Don't worry, once you get in the rhythm, you're going to love it, and it's just going to be so rewarding. Any parts of this you're confused on, please just leave a comment, because I think this is one of the most effective ways to make a blanket that's quite quick to make. So as we're nearing the end, we now have our second row almost done, and now we're going to involve the last stitch. Okay, so we're going to take him, pull him down, and we're going to take our working yarn and pop that through. Okay, and the idea here is to kind of create a ladder effect down here. So we're leaving him there, and we're not going to go back through him, we're just going to leave him out. Okay, and a good way to do this is just kind of look at it like they've got ears. Leave those ones to the side and just carry on along here like you did, just like you did before. So take our pinchy fingers, go in, pull through and up. Okay. It will curl up a little bit, but don't worry, it's part of the process. It will look amazing when you're finished. So we're now at the other end, and we're going to go through him, pull through him like you did with the others, but then we're going to leave that one out. So we leave that one out and go back on ourselves. And you will see that the more uniform you keep these stitches, the better it will look. But we're just playing around for now, so you're all good. If this is too much for you, there is another video that I've done for a simpler version, and I'll link it right here. Okay, so the end one, we're going to go through, then leave that one out, carry on in your first stitch. Also, I've made chunky blankets like this, and if you want to see those, I'll leave a link to them here. Okay, so we're going to leave him out. I'm going to do another row. And then we're going to cast off. So another row along here. We're going to leave him out. Make sure he's a little bit bigger than you have done before. This is going to be how to cast off. So the last row, what you want to do is do exactly the same thing as you've been doing, making sure your stitches are straight, but your stitches are going to be longer, about twice the size. So we're going to go along as we have done before, but they're going to be, trust me on this, looks weird, but it's a good result. Okay, final row, or casting off. If you're happy with your blanket, your working yarn is at this end, and we're going to start from the other end to your working yarn. We're going to take the guy that has just been hanging out at the side, and we're going to use our pinchy fingers, go through him and grab the next loop and pull that through the end one. Okay, and we're going to do exactly the same thing all the way along. So now we've got this as our working loop. We're going to take the next loop and go through, do exactly the same thing all the way along. So we're going to take each loop. See, they're not even big enough. Well, they are big enough, but barely, and they seemed like such big stitches when I was doing it, but that's why you've got to trust the process. Okay, so this is how we cast off using this method. All right, okay. Now all you have to do is give the working yarn a snip and just pull that through. Now what you can do is put it through again, just to make sure that's not going anywhere. And then you can weave it into the back so it looks nice. Now you can kind of fiddle around with this, make sure the stitches are all looking good. If there's any bigger ones, you can shuffle them into place. Any stitches that look a bit odd. But that is essentially, that's the back. How to make a nice neat edge on your finger knitting. And can you see, look, this is all nice and neat. You've got a nice row at the top, and also the sides have a lovely look to them going down as well. I really hope you found this video useful. If you'd like to see a video where I show you how to finger crochet with exactly the same yarn and the same style, then I will leave that video here for you. I'll see you there.